want to fight? Is that the deal?
Whoa, bro.
Fight?
What happened to Ezra Miller? His career has been so disappointing. I remember loving the guy in Perks of Being a Wallflower and looking forward to what seemed to be a bright future. He's so good in that movie. He's sweet, elegant, quirky, unique. There's just a lot of qualities to that performance, and honestly, that character. But I feel like all of the characters in that movie could have come off a little bit thin if they weren't performed so well by the main trio of actors. Then somewhere along the line, Ezra signed on to a bunch of shitty franchise films like Fantastic Beasts and the Snyderverse. In almost every case, everything that was interesting about him was either misused or tossed to the side for something bland. Like, what is he doing in those Harry Potter movies? He doesn't really talk. He doesn't really have much of a character. He turns into the smoke monster in a few scenes. And then they always show him in the trailers, and then it's like, oh, he's Dumbledore's brother. I don't know what's going on in those movies. I've watched the first two, and by the end of the second one, I was just confused and didn't understand what the story was anymore. And like I said, Ezra Miller, I think he's only in that movie for a few scenes, but like, what the fuck is this guy's career?
Hello, first of all, how are y'all doing? It's me. Look, if y'all want to die, I suggest just killing yourselves with your own guns. Okay?
He was like this indie darling that you thought, okay, he's going to be this kind of character. He's going to be in comedies. He's going to be in, like, indie romance movies. Instead, he's the Flash? Like, the fucking Flash? Which he's completely miscast as, by the way. I'm sorry, Snyder fans. I know that you love Ezra Miller. I know that at the most recent Academy Awards, they voted him running back in time in the Snyder Cut as the most exciting sequence in film history. But he's just terrible as that character. Even though, like, I don't really hate him in any of the stuff he's been in, like Batman v Superman and all that, but it just didn't work. And then I thought with the Harry Potter thing, like, okay, maybe he'll get something to do here. No. And then outside of that, if you go look at anything he's done movie-wise or TV-wise, nothing's really that special. He's like a smaller, less versatile Adam Driver. Still, he's pretty cute, and he makes a pretty hot chick. So our timeline starts in April of 2020, where a video surfaced online that showed Miller choking a woman and then throwing her down to the ground. He seems drunk. It was later said that he was escorted off the premises after this attack. Now we go to March 28th of 2022. Hey, that's my birthday. Miller was arrested in Hawaii for another physical confrontation at a karaoke bar. What song was being sung during this confrontation? These are the things that I need to know. In the next fucking day, a couple filed for a restraining order against him, claiming he threatened to kill them. Now here's the thing, this couple bailed Ezra out of jail for the karaoke incident, and then he threatened to kill them.
And for good reasons.
That's what we're dealing with. Then in April of this same year, Miller was arrested again for second-degree assault. This time they said he threw a chair at a woman and hit her in the head. So if it's not clear at this point, it appears Ezra has some violent tendencies. He might not be much of an actor anymore, but he's proven himself to be very successful as a crazy person. This can't be good for the new Flash movie, and I'm sure WB will try to distance themselves from this as soon as possible. In fact, it seems like they're going to overhaul everything in the DC universe cinematically. I guess what's sad here is that it's not hard to view this as a sign of psychological issues, abuse, or some trauma from his past that has made him this way.
Yourself a therapy goat, you will need a therapy goat.
I would also assume, without any evidence, that he has substance abuse issues. I think the man likes to drink and fight women. I mean, who doesn't, but still. Now, having said all this, Ezra doesn't really identify as a man. So I guess you could say this is a woman fighting other women. It would be funny to think that he just changed his gender so he could get in less trouble for beating up girls. I mean, we haven't seen that before. Out of all of Ezra's movies, the one that might most accurately capture who the man is, or the they is, or the Zur is the overrated but still worth watching one time We Need to Talk About Kevin. A film where he plays a school shooter that instead of using a gun, he uses a bow and arrow. The first half of the movie plays like a more comedic version of The Omen, before, in my opinion, turning into a borderline snuff film that is pretentious and almost unwatchable, even though I know a lot of people think it's a masterpiece.
Go give me a soda. Not that one, you retard. Get me a root beer.
Hey!
In the movie, Tilda Swinton goes to visit Kevin in prison. He's cold, detached, and seems to get an odd pleasure out of her suffering. The fact that she brought this evil into the world is the only thing that gives him joy. Now, like a flash, Ezra's career went from exciting in 2012 to on the heels in the last few years, with a slight uptick in the Snyder Cut giving him a little bit more screen time and more to do, and some of those scenes getting popular online. The bad career choices are one thing, but the violence is something that is both fascinating and disturbing. What came across as a playful, loving creature is low-key a monster.
Why can't you save anybody?
I mean, I don't know what to think. How much of this was the Hollywood system and his background and his life that made him this way? Or how much of this is him just being a shit and we're making excuses because he's sort of charismatic and likable and pretty? I don't know. That's the things that you have to think about with this stuff. So after Justice League and everything that happened, Ben Affleck's an alcoholic. Amber Heard hit Johnny Depp and got drunk all the time. And then you have poor Henry Cavill just being a good boy like Superman while everyone else has all the fun. It's a sad time. Ezra, if you're watching this, which I know you're not because you're too busy making videos telling KKK members that you want to kill them, all I can say is, like, get your shit together, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, you could be on top of the world. You look like an anime character. Women would love you in the right kind of roles. Like, all of this Pete Davidson poon that's been going on the last 2 years, that could have been yours, bro. That's all I'm saying. You could have been, like, a great LGBT actor in a daring television show. You could have been on, you know, a show that's sort of like a Euphoria. You could have done all sorts of stuff. You didn't belong in superhero films. And, you know, the Harry Potter thing, that was just a debacle for everyone involved. But the confusing thing is, I guess, above all of this, is just, why does he get a pass? Why did this go on for so long? I mean, when I saw that video of him, like, you know, attacking the woman at the bar a long time ago, I thought, okay, well, he's going to get canceled for this. And then it's like everybody just forgot about it. Now, finally, people seem to be all, like, coming together and being like, okay, we need to do something about this guy. But it's so strange. Out of all of the things that I've heard in a lot of modern cancel culture, whatever you want to call it, the fact that somebody likes to go out, get messed up, and attack women, I think is actually one of the most awful things and uncomfortable things that I've heard. So I'm not going to have any forgiveness for Ezra. I don't really have any empathy for him. But I remember there was a time that I thought he was going to really be something. And it was, God, 10 years ago. I was a younger man. We were both probably about the same age at the time. And it's just sad to see what happened to him. He's going to be kind of a forgotten star. Or he's going to become a rock star. I don't know. There's some Marilyn Manson undertones here. But I hope at least in this gothic insanity, you know, hot topic worldview that, like, I have to filter this all through, or this, like, Reddit thread of, you know, theories and conclusions about what this all means. I just hope that to any of the victims out there that Ezra attacked, or anybody that had a certain feeling towards him and any of the things that he's been in, I think the best thing is if he just went away and stayed gone, quite frankly. And that's all I have to say about that, to quote the great philosopher Forrest Gump.